So in this video, I'm going to show how to add another architecture. I already documented it in the README for long arc64. Now I'll add whatever. I'll add the mainframe, the IBM Z mainframe one. That is s390z. So there are differences between what is in between the toolchain name and the kernel architecture name, and also the QEMU name. And so everybody except for the kernel architecture would be s390x. It is the same. And to keep it shorter, I think I will not do also the Debian part because I don't feel like the bootstrapping it, but there is also under the Debian port, I think, the root faucet for that. So let us begin doing that. So we start by simply copying from ourselves, like always. So the long arc would be something like that. I'm just going to take another architecture. For Spark, there are additions, and I just marked it just in case. I think this is different from, I don't think it's documented, but it really doesn't matter. When I talk about the course we're talking about, there are more room for that. And here what we need to have would be s390x Linux GNU or so, I think. Yeah, so that would be it. So you would install it by probably doing something like apt install gcc s390x. Okay, so that's what you would want to do. Now you would first want to see that it even builds, that you can build a kernel with it. Okay, that would be very useful. That would come very handy. But I know that it builds, so, and I also wanted to be short. So this is like the first thing that happens here. Otherwise, we'll have like an unsupported arc, which is just fine. So that would be the first step here. Now, after that, we'd want to go ahead and like specify, I'm going to run it over QEMU, specify the BSP configuration. I'll just copy from something that exists in the README where I say how I port it like long arc64. I copied from RISC-V, so I'll do the same. And so let's see where it is. As you can see now I'm using a code, no VI. And probably that's what most of people will do. And let's just see that I'm not messing up. So PSP layer, okay. So let's see what we have here. So it's this one. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to call it, I mean, the name here doesn't matter. The important thing is like to include it and to do like a arc adjustment or something like that. So I will call it 390x. I'll follow the other things and I'll use the arc variable as it's called in the Linux architecture. So I'll do this. I will not play too much with it. I will not even read the comment, and the image type. I need to remember what it is. I'm not sure if I think it's either busy image. I think it's busy image. I'm pretty sure it's busy. So it's definitely busy image, and what I need to make sure is that the arc that I build is like s390, and I don't think that I copy paste and I forgot to do it. So s390. I think this is it. It could be because if you look like at the kernel tree, then this is what we would have. So sometimes we will have all kind of like we'll have several of them. Like if we have like a R, like in Spark 64, or the Spark that is 32-bit, or an x86 64, or a arc, and then there is like the sort of sub arc. But we're not going to decide like if it's a 32-bit or not. We're not going to handle it here. So we are happy with what it is. We can of course look at the different types. So we have these two fellows. So if we have this, then essentially the cross compile and the arc promise us that we'll be able to build the Linux kernel. and BusyBox. But there are other things that we need, especially if we want to create an installer. Maybe I'll skip it now. There are the external projects that I need to do. So let's see what happens. So without the external binaries that are used mostly for flashing E2FS progs and FS utils, we need to point to this BSP that we made. So there is a fix up, something like this variable, and BSP name arc name fix up, and it should appear in several places. Now I want to build the BusyBox config really. So that's what I'm going to look at. This distro build config is in the common one, so it's good. Let's see what we have here. If the architecture, I'll add it here. If the architecture is s390, then the BSP fix call it allows to autocomplete, but I said no AI. Although it's autocomplete, it's fine. So I want it to be s390x, if that's how I called the respective file here. Yes, that's how I called it. So it will take it, and this will be fine. Now, essentially, I made the fix up to adjust better like to Debian configs, but I'm not doing it like now. Okay, so I'm doing this. Usually like to use Veeam for that, to be honest. And while at it, I want that like the Sparks here. Sparks can work with Linux kernel, but I'm not doing it here. There are additional files that are needed. So we have the BSP. We have this QEMU. We need to tell in the QEMU script which is the name of the QEMU. So it will be system and then s390x. So I'm going to just look for QEMU system and whatever. I'll get rid of the readme. So many readmes. It's in run QEMU, and I will also add this one here. There are quite a lot of defaults. They should be good enough. I'll add it after here and without all those printouts. So I'm copying for myself. I can do it. And I'm going to get rid of it. With a long arc, it requires a EFI. So I'm going to get rid of that. And not going, let's see what machines they have. I don't need a machine to specify machine here. QEMU system s390x dash help. So we'll just use the default and we'll be happy with it. Where's the default? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I just know it works without anything. I'll keep it without anything. And it should work also like without CPU. So that's what I'm going to do here. So for machine, I'm not going to specify anything. I don't even know if there's a machine vert. Yes, there is. Excellent. So I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid also of the CPU. Okay. Image type. It's just going to be busy image. The console, I think it's TTY0, QEMU. That's actually the only thing I wanted to have here. That would be S390X. And we should be done. There is no virtualization. And let me go ahead and build it. Let me also get rid of more spaces if I have to. Yeah, so let's go ahead and build it. So I'm going to use this wrapper script from the previous video. And I'm definitely going to fail. So I'll just use like one architecture here. I'll do S390. I'm definitely going to fail on the custom tools, like for the RAM disk. But even having this midway can be super helpful. Or I can add another architecture to the custom tools. It's not guaranteed that everything will always work for every cross compiler. So let's do this. Let's just first build it. It's okay to fail. It's not the end of the world. It's going to try and build BusyBox, and actually if I have a BusyBox and around distance, I should be good enough. I should be happy enough. We can and should verify. Check it out, like this is like the BusyBox installation. It's before packing the RAM disk. But we can go ahead and verify that this nice fellow here is indeed the statically linked file that we expect. Okay, so this is a pretty good indication. So I'm not sure where I put my my out of order tools to build, but I'll figure it out right now. Kernel is building. That's before the RAM disk is packed. And I think it's, yeah, so it's here. I actually built here quite a few utils. So you know what? Some of these are not actually. No, I'll start with the latest one that is ALSA. I'll add another architecture. So let me do that. I will add. So basically, for all of them, I fetch them, I think, and I shouldn't do it. I'll just do the fastest I can. So we have the tuples here, and for tuple, I also add here three s390x Linux GNU, and this will do the trick. Once I get rid of the fetch or get rid of the exit one, because I don't need it, I already have like a version I'm relatively happy with. So let's do build tiny also. I could save time for the other architectures, but this one I know is super fast. Let's see if it succeeds or it fails. It is like a good test if my cross compiler works. Okay. So there it is. We have it 390x. So the first one has been working. Awesome. What I'm also going to do now, I mean, the kernel build will take some time, if I remember correctly. So I will put it a little bit on hold so that I can try and rush to fix like the other things. So before I forget it, I'll put it here. Sorry. All right. S390. I'll copy it. I don't remember what are all the things that I am looking for. So let's see. All of them have been put in Git, I think. Maybe they also know. So I don't need the device tree compiler in the default example, I think. Tiny also I put it. KXX, I can use it. I don't need it. And really, this is the only reason I made this thing for, to put like E2FS procs and DOS FS utils. I don't think I have KXX on this example, so let's do that quickly. And I'll complete the other ones after. So there is build whatever. Tuples. We'll add another one here. And I'll get rid of this one. I can actually modify the list of tuples. It will be easier for me, but I'll do it like this anyhow. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. What did I edit? E2FS procs. I'll do the build here. And I'll go now to DOSFS utils. I'll just do the same very quickly. I mean, I'm doing it as we're going, right? So it is how it is. Some of the files don't look the same. I just want to have static builds and then I publish them. But I do know myself, I know I use those tuples. And I'll get rid of the fetch. Later put it back on. And later I will probably, I will probably add the installation folder for that. So I'll do build DOSFS utils. I'm very much surprised that the other one, because it needs to configure that it's still running. So this was not very wise. It would be better to do it, to just do it for one architecture. but I'll do it anyway. You know what? For the second one, I will cheat, and later I will also replace that. Let's do this. In this one, do well, it's not what I had in mind, and let's get rid of the rest. Boom. And let's get rid of this too, and later I will undo the other changes. So at least this one will be faster even if it configures, because it will do only what I want to build. So good, we're done here. That's very nice. I'm happy. Did I do the installation? I should have. Let's see what are the last folders that have been here. Yeah. So this fellow here, if I go ahead and do user local has been, I think this is what I wanted. Like actually, the fact was, I mean, in most of the cases we would not really need it, like in our designs, but never mind. It's like for updating a boot partition in some OB, in some AB. It's not black. It's not so positive or negative. In some AB partition update scenario, and it doesn't really matter. But if I just do that, then it builds, and that's fine. In the meantime, this one finished, and I'm going to get to continue the kernel, and assuming I did not forget anything, I should be relatively happy with myself. Let's just see, get correct that it's surprising. I want to see that I build fast enough. So I have these two fellows. I also have the kexec. The assets are sound and stuff like that. Let's go to kexec. If you want to add something new, then you will also do some things like that. So you have this on GitHub as well. So let's go to the tuples. Everything is done differently. Okay. So we have this nice thing here. Could just add two more tuples. That's fine. And let's build this. Let's of course get rid of the fetch line. I wrote these things so fast. I mean, it's good. No problem with it. Okay. So we have these fellows. While I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and get rid of this. So like if you see it, like the errors tell you if there were like all kind of errors, this is an eligible error. It doesn't matter. We're good with it. Okay, so that's for the static build here. This one is what I wanted to have here. It looks at binaries also, so it's not exactly what I want had in mind. So that's good. All right. And we also have kexec, so should be happy about this too. And I'll get rid of the fetch one. So yeah, so good to go. Just marking it for myself. Yeah. And I'll go to the tiny Elsa. You know what? I'll just open another one. Tiny Elsa static builds. And I will also take care of this one. I already took care of this one. Great. Let's see the tuples. Tuples. All right. So if you want to add something more, you add also the tuples or just get the static binaries from somewhere. So if I do that, I can now be relatively happy with it and see what's going on with the kernel build. It's still building. Amazing. Don't know why it's so slow. It's supposed to be much faster. Yeah, so it is building. So it's a nice thing because I also built that while we were at it. So it's not so bad. So I'm going to get rid of this. It's still building. Enjoy building. Why not? I will use this to add more things. So I think I should add the entire install directory, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that's what I've done in the other cases. If not, it will be a little sad. No, it's not a big deal. Yes, I'll just add it. Worst case, nothing happened. And so I'll do add build. So I already added it, and I'll do add 390x Linux GNU in install. Okay, and just to show you that the mechanism is the same for all of them, then I'm going to do the same for all of them. So I already added the other things. About the modifications of the other binaries, I don't care about them. What we had, and that's it. So they were already added, and I'll do git commit -m added s390x architecture. Yes, 390. Because what I yeah, so that's fine. I wanted to do it by the cross toolchain. That's fine. That's fine. So we're good with it. I'm going to add this for all of the rest, and I'm also going to push it. I think it should be fine. And I'm going to add this. So we see how everything is pretty much the same. Git log, excellent. Git push, and I'm going to add it here also. I'm going to do git push, and I'm going to add this also. And then I'm going to do git push. So that's all. I mean, I usually add them separately. Maybe like the documentation will not be accurate, but we're good. Now there is a chance I need to make sure, and that now that I actually added the tool, and I will put it. Okay, we're very close to finishing. So I want to triple check that I'm actually using the right tools, copying like the file that I just built. So there is there are several places where this thing exists. So there is set tools src dir in pre-built of ETFS blogs, and then I add like more tools. So I'll put it in more tools. I'll add here s390. Okay, I mean the arc is always this. So here when I put like long arc 64, it's a fake. It doesn't really matter. Okay, the arc that we use is like the kernel arc. Very, very important. So I'll do this. But to be compatible with the other, I will do that as well. And then I will avoid AI, or to complete whatever, I'll do source dir equals the toolchains that I have, which is this one. and I'll be happy with it. So, whoa, something here got really bad during, maybe it didn't like the tabs or something. Yeah, but that's how it should be, all right? So having done that, I'll just triple check this. Um, let's see that the name of the folder is indeed this, s390x Linux GNU install. And it is, and I think that should be it. I only need like to add like another architecture. There are quite a lot of features here. So the kernel is about to be done. Let's proceed, and let's hope that I didn't miss anything. And I probably did miss something. So let's see what's the problem here. Well, the problem is that I was too late to update it. So let's see what we have here. Blah, 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 blah. Init RAM first failed. Amazing. Unsupported ARC s390. Okay. So it's in copy prebuild e2fs procs to run this .sh. And I'm going to get to it. So in which one did it say the error is? Copy prebuild e2fs procs. Yes. So I'll copy from myself here. The E2FS procs is important for labeling, for doing tune2FS and things like that on the RAM is the other thing. The DOS one's not so much, but I'll do it anyway. So I need to go to the same place here. I'll do the same thing here. The tab look okay, and I will run it again. It wouldn't take too much because it's because the kernel is already built. But when you do it, then the configuration phase sometimes seems like it's taking some time. I'm of course not cheating. It's like the same kernel from before, 617. Let's see if DRM works there or like if audio works there. I'm curious. So look what's going on. This is how the module tarball is made. It's absolutely unnecessary here. And look how many like modules we have here and things that we have here like on the diff config. So let me just wait a bit to do that. Although essentially it's not really needed like for me. I'm running like a BusyBox version here, but I mean that's fine. I won't be using any of these anyway, but that's fine. So we can see that like after doing that, we are pretty much like done and bootable. So that's nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run this QEMU script. And it says unsupported ARC 390. This is because yeah. So I'm just going to fix it locally first, and then I'm going to modify like the script. So let's see this. It is very possible that I forgot to save the file or that I just didn't touch it. Very, very, very possible. So you know what? I'll just fix it properly. And of course, my mistake was copy pasting, which is a mistake. So we're going to do here s390x. It will not be s390, so it doesn't matter. Let's see how indented it is. Looks about right. I can actually skip 90% of what I've done now and just generate a QEMU script and it will be just fine. But given that some people actually do that at home, and given that supporting partial builds is something that I can do, but I don't want to do for others, then I'll just let it go. It will not take long anyway. And in the meantime, I can also show you that if you want to use a Debian file system here, that's what you would want to do. It's going to be like in the main archive, not import. So we can also add this, and it's going to be like pretty easy. So again, tarballs, every time there is like compression, then it's something that takes time. So it's not so amazing and nice. Let's see how heavy it is. 1.1 gigs. So it's a lot. It's absolutely unnecessary. It's I'd say 1,000 times bigger than my rootfs when I use BCBuildOS. So it's a pretty unnecessary, crazy, you name it. These are some of the steps that take some time, for which I prepared all kind of like optimization, and we can definitely get rid of like the modules and things like that. So let's now try to do this QEMU again, and I hope I did save it this time. Whoa. So my mistake was putting 390x. I should have done 390. So I will just edit it. 90x. I'll put an X on it because it's VI. And then I'll do the run QEMU again. And now it looks better. And something is booting. We see, look how terrible it is. It's like bluish. And assets audio error. I think it is a WAV file. I think it should be fine. So it's actually fine. I mean, we are operational here. We are running s390x BusyBox here. If we have assets, and if we have like tiny play, do have like some mechanism like with a queue, then it should work. But maybe there is no support in the kernel for that, in the particular one. I don't mind, that's fine. I don't care about it too much. Just for having like a frame buffer on installations, I did use like config DRM here. Let's see what the DRM here says. It was the first boot of it. I've worked with this mainframes, but like real work, not this. So let's look at this class. DRM. Let's see what this card wants. Modes. Oh, looks about right. Looks okay. Like if I go, it's with config frame buffer emulation. This is why you see like this ping. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. No, that's why I see this ping. So anyway, and that it has what I wanted. That's fine. I'm going to now go. It messes up the console if I'm not mistaken. So that's fine. I'm going to do command line equals wait for a movable uh, media. If I'm not mistaken, it's better when it's first time to do installer a only equals true, and then it should use the removable media if it's properly identified, and try and flash something. So this doesn't work. So maybe it was not identified, but at least the logic is like fine. So maybe I did change something else. I'm actually not sure. So I'm going to see what are my commands here. I actually did play with some of the installables. It actually doesn't matter because I did prove what I wanted to prove, which was that I can port it properly. So maybe I'll pause the video and just fix it or figure out what it is. We have here this fellow. I will not do the wait for removable media. Now I'll try to figure out what's the deal here. So I'll do stop at RAM disk. It will stop anyway because the storage is like empty. It didn't identify something, that's for sure. So maybe some more things are needed for this. So it dev, yeah, it definitely did not it definitely did not have the Verteo block devices in. And if it did, it did not have the driver. So this is something that needs to be worked on separately for S390. And that's like a nice exercise. Maybe I'll do it for you. Maybe not, because I just want to publish like this code. So let's just for fun config gc. Actually, it's very possible that it's like in one of the modules, and then we will need to modify that to be like yes. So let's do grep Verteo. And of course, okay, Verteo block, that's good. Of course, non-network because Verteo net is M, so we need to take care of it. Verteo console, we can also add it. DRM, oh, thank you, how nice of you. PCI equals M, we need to make it yes to make it better. And yeah, so this is the reason why my Verteo devices don't work as I would want or would expect. And these are some of the things that we can either make like in the common config to make sure that all of these are fine, but working so hard for emulators that actually probably nobody would use for these architectures is not that interesting. And maybe I'll make like another video for fixing it. And yeah, I mean it showed everything that I wanted to show. So and I don't even remember what I mean. The thing is that if we just add it, like the configuration equals y, but there are more dependencies, then it is possible that we'll have some linkage errors. So it's much better to go ahead and figure out like a kernel config and do like a script diff config and get these things sorted. I could just go and copy like those particular KOs into the RAM disk. It will also be just fine. So I am a bit upset about it. I think it needs Verteo PCI. I'm not entirely sure. It needs either this or MIO. And I'll just add a couple of these options and that's it. So I'll pause this video. You know what? I will not even pause it. I will just do it. But it could take more time. Be warned. So yeah, I did reset. So that sucks. And I'll go to whatever PSP I put it in. Yeah. So I'll just add, I would usually do it outside, but I'll just add more of this. It is not guaranteed that it will work, be warned. So I can do plus equals as well, but I don't have to. And then actually, maybe even these are not defined. This came from the long arc, I figured out. So I'll add them. I'll add a couple of more configurations. I'll make this one Y. I'll make DRM is fine. PCI, it is possible that it will not work, just be warned, equals Y. Actually, yeah, but it's already Y. So I don't really need it. Can actually add SCSI devices. That can also be nice. I can add the console. It's useful like for the HVC. Yeah, why not? Let's add it too. And let's add. I think it's connected via PCI, but I'll need to run QEMU and see what's going on with it. But let's try that and then rebuild. So I'm going to do the wrapper again. Now in the configs, it shows some of the latest things that I've added here. And we can see actually what changed here. So Verteo PCI for sure. It's actually like a good, hey, what's going on like in kernel build exercises for those who never seen a kernel build in their lives or that. So I guess, I don't know, I don't see, okay, I do see MMIO here. That's fine, the console is nothing. I can implement it while sleeping. It looks okay. All right, it looks okay. I don't even need to wait for this because I already have my previous RAM disk. So I'm going to cheat here, unless it's already like installed. And do I see any block device here or not really? I see PCI, that looks nice. Can't look at block dev, great. Someone is not happy. Can I connect from with the virtual console? Let's give it a shot. Yes, I can. And you see, this already looks better. So I don't know what's keeping it here. Probably that I didn't do it, but if I now go ahead, ooh, that's what I put here. I do like the wait for removable media. If the storage device exists, then it should work. I'm not sure why it's so obsessed with it. Amazing. So code page CP437 not found. So I need to add this I need to add this to the configuration as well. So this is easy. I'm not sure why it's not there. This is annoying. Let's do this. Zcat proc config gz and then grep 437 and then module. This is just amazing. Like for the RISC-V, the other one is not here. I'm not sure why it is the default. I accidentally turned this is why it's not this. Maybe I should have put like another command line options for the terminal. That's why it got stuck. It doesn't really matter. So this is like super hacky, but this is how you take care of businesses essentially. Yeah, I stopped it in the middle, so I'll now just build it again. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to build it. But that's what happens when you're a live session, right? But it will be fine. I just care here about building the kernel. So it added the other one that messed us up. Because when you don't have like the language or like the encoding, then you cannot work with the file system. So this is why it is important, essentially. I'll skip it like before. Run init as init process. This looks somewhat better. And it's not the console that I'm expecting, I think. Let's see what's happening here. Usually redirect to the message as well. I'll socket again. Yeah, it looks like it's in the middle of working. Probably it gets like this HVC0 whatever, like it's console. So it's fine. But that's the message. And something here did not work. And what I think did not work is because of like the module, like not enough space or something like that. But this belongs to the size and optimization videos. We solve when we need problem by problem. This does look good. About the playback of the sound, don't worry too much. I'm pretty sure that the problem here is because of the sizes of the images. So, or maybe because the imager didn't prepare it yet. That's also like another option, but you know what? I'm actually not sure what is the deal here. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah. So cd mount recovery tarball. Yeah. So I gave it like 200 megs, and all those loadable modules that were by default here, they made it like really bad for it, and they're of course not needed. So here it is. When you pour something, you also need to work on minimizing things, getting rid of unnecessary things, and this is configurable. We can build like without any of these modules, but there is no the def configs, especially when with RC releases, will mess you up a lot of time. So actually, it's good that there were problems, because this way we know how things are. Now, for the Debian ones, you know what, I'll edit. And the default sizes that I put were pretty big, but I never tried them for s390. So let's try that again. And I remind you, like the modules were over 1 gig before compressing. It's crazy. So let's see that, okay? So for this, we need to go to PscgDuildOS set arc specifics under PscgDuildOS build config, because we're like on Debian. And for other architecture, we should be able to do more things as well. And we already had the BSP arc name fixed up on the BusyBox OS one. So let's search for this just to be sure. S390x, okay, which is pretty much the only thing that we will need here. Because like for the Debian architecture, we need other things, so it's not a big deal. So let's go ahead, copy it here. It is, as we saw, not from a long arc, but rather from sorry, not from the Debian ports, but rather from like the regular one. So we don't really need to modify them. We can go ahead and say that the base URL, this is not Ubuntu. We can also add support for Ubuntu. I will not do it now. We can say that we set just to be like orthodox the Debian arc here. We need it. And we'll put here s390x. And for the URL, we're going to keep things as they are. So let's now go ahead. I'll get out of this one, and I'll build the Debian ones. And I believe that I also needed to modify the BSP in the QEMU, the name of the QEMU script. Yeah, but I already done that. So here in this wrapper, what I want to do is just build Debian. I'll put it here, and I'll just do S390. I haven't done it in a while, but it should be fine. And it should take a while. So we do add a bootstrap here for the first time. For Trixie, it could take a while, just warning. And here we never add caches. It will take a while. We'll need to take like the caches also. We need to build this have done like in some other videos. We'll need to populate the caches, and sometimes the downloads themselves take time. The installation can take time. Maybe there are some packages do not exist there, although now it's stable, then it shouldn't be like this. So I'm just going to pause it now. It's 9:13 and I'll resume it later. I wanted to make a very short video and it's becoming very long, but look at all the things. I mean, I can resolve everything immediately, but there is something really nice about like this live video because I'm running into the issues myself. So if I was working on them for like a product, then I would be fixing them. So it's like a good opportunity to look through what I think is an invaluable path of troubleshooting. So it's configuring, it's on the Debian. Now pause and go and watch some TV. I'm saying it's live in case that, in the sense that I'm just doing it now, like with you. So we already discussed the caches thing. So now we're going to get there. I'm just going to say that if it does, look how many packages come on. So that if it doesn't work right now, I'm not going to fix it. Reminder, the partition sizes for the PZ box were too small for the so-called recovery image that can also be prevented from being put with just another configuration option in the build system. Because when expecting PZ box, I'm expecting a root fast of like a couple of megabytes. And I'm being super generous for giving like 10 or 15 megabytes, or maybe 20, for ext4 or better, faster, whatever, plus out overhead. However, if you want to put modules that are like over 1 gig, then it's not it. You need to also be able to configure the kernel. You need to make sense of the things that you do. I mean, you cannot be responsible about everything. So I'm just going to let it run. Our nice the bootstrap here, and I'll resume when it's done. Okay, so it wasn't as slow as I expected. So let's just wait it up. Every time I want to just do something nice, watch TV, go drink something, then this happens. Not alcohol, no worries, no booze. It's the same new circle, like the Intel guidelines back then with travel. No booze, no reimbursement for booze. So okay, sure. But worry not, we can still fail. Because these are like the cost installation phases, yada 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 yada. I'm really doing it because I'm curious myself. I must admit that I like it much better when I just leave other people do it as exercises. But this is an architecture that I met in like in work, and I don't remember ever giving as a porting architecture. So we'll do just that, and that's it. Okay, so install with Kmod, amazing. We don't even need most of it, right? I mean, this is one of the things that I really like about like a PscG mini Linux, that it does like the necessary. And even if we have like modules, then okay. So worst case, don't install the modules at all, and that's it. But since I'm building something for a root file system, that the kernel modules will be extracted on top of it, because this build system is actually used operationally in several places. As bizarre as it may sound to you, then the idea is that the idea is that that we want to, if there are kernel modules, they're not built for nothing. So like build them, install them. But just remember that the def config was the problem, because there are modules that will never be used. Nobody cares about them. What I do need, I just set config y and so on. So it does take time. This is unpacking, and I actually need to take a little break myself. So I'll pause it and be right back. We did start around 9:13, so it's not so bad. 5 minutes or so. So the good news is that now I have coffee, and it also built. So well, around 10 minutes, that's fine. Let's see. The estimated required storage size is this one. Uh, We wanted to set it to 500 megs. That was like for the BusyBox build that I had. And it auto sets it, so maybe there is hope. And now I'll try to run it again. And if it works, great. And if it not, well, that's it. But we got Debian like with the bootstrap, and we should be happier. Now I should fix something with the console params here. I mean, I don't like it. Something here is wrong. But okay, so now like the console goes like to the VDA. Okay, great, amazing, all good. And again, it's not very happy about this. The question is why. So let's see the partitioning scheme. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, the partitioning scheme here is terrible. Why did it choose this partition scheme? That's a good question. That's a very, very, very good question. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that it has the format EMC flag. Yeah, so I mean it's not critical. I mean this is the problem for sure. Let's see what is the size of the disk. No, this is terrible. This is absolutely not the disk that I wanted. So what I'm going to do, regardless of I did all kind of wrapper for it, so I'm going to do something differently. I will see. We can see what is the path of the storage here. Not the removable one, but the EMC one. Where are you? That's this one. Maybe because I put do not recreate storage. It's a parameter. It's very, very, very possible. From the other videos that I don't think I even like published. So let's do this. And let's also reset. Let's do lsdef lh the image file. Terrible. This is the reason for this. I'm just going instead of it to do ddOF equals this one, if equals dev 0, ps equals 1g, count equals 20. Of course, very wasteful, but I don't know if I published the videos. I published them on YouTube, but I don't think that I refer to them from anywhere. So everybody needs to subscribe. This is how I don't need to make those side comments that don't interest anyone. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I could get rid of like console params. You know what? Run QEMU. What I want to do is, I don't remember the parameter for the console. And I am a bit upset with it. So that's not what I had in mind. So I will. Yeah. So console equals TTY is S0, but then we add several console HPCs and yada 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 yada. And because I changed so many things and add so many explanations. Console params. Let's see where we have HPC. Yeah, console param serial to STDIO, yada 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 yada. That's fine, that's nice. But somewhere I had, yeah, command line console equals console HPC 0 and then our console. The latest should get it. But I suppose I can just get rid of it and it's supposed to work. So let's do this from the other one. This looks even worse. So I'm not sure what it is. And it doesn't matter. So I'll get rid of this one. It really, really, really doesn't matter. And in the past, I used to redirect everything like to dev console. Maybe now I don't. But dev console is the message goes to both. Console is likely this fellow. Now it's installing. And let's see what's going on. Again, something is off. Let's see. It is the partition table for sure. This time it's 20 gigs. So maybe in the build it was not given like the proper distro, or maybe because the RAM disk was done and I didn't repack it again. It's also very possible. So let's try and do this. There are flags for that, but instead of like remembering all the flags, what we can do is repack RAM. Is either look at the build log or like repack the RAM disk. And let me just the wrapper is like way too much. So I think I put it still on the under the August 19th. So that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to go to August 19 PscgBuildOS, I think. Build target product shared to arc s390. BusyBox build is fine. So target product PSCG. Dapos, that's the latest that we're on RAM disk. Actually, if I look at it and I look at the config, flasher config, it will tell me what the problem is. And so 916, generate partition dev. This looks about right. This is not bad. Maybe the RAM disk itself was not packed. So I will try to understand what is the problem in what we actually run with a QEMU, because here it's definitely not it. So we got rid of like the other one, and let's see. This looks fine. Now the RAM disk itself, yeah, I'll just do it as that way. The RAM disk itself, it's packed somewhere, like this init ramfs.cpio, and it should be the same one. Let's see the build artifact or something like this, what we have there. So let's just do md5 done on this one, and let's find artifacts. So that's only the QEMU. We don't have like the RAM disk there. No problem at all. We need to look at the installable that we use. Let's see. Actually, I don't even need this because I have -d and I can see what is the init rd. So kernel is taken from here. Okay, it's directly taken from, I did not copy to the artifacts, that's fine. Installables boot fat, that's fine. And I can go ahead and look at this one. And this is absolutely not what I wanted. This has like the wrong information. Okay, so I don't know which build config I used. Probably I just said, okay, do not recreate from disk, or I don't know what. Or maybe there is some issue there. And the thing is that this is just wrong. So I could actually, you know what I'm going to do is I will use what I wanted, like the new one, read link dash f, what I actually wanted, which is this one. I'll use it as the RAM disk parameter, okay? Or initmd RAM disk image, all right. And I will now do RAM disk image equals this one. And before installable media. By the way, actually, it is possible. I just made some all kind of changes for documentation, and it is possible that that I just modified the variable name and didn't check it yet, which is a pity because I test things like rigorously, and it's just been so much work, documenting things and making them maybe more suitable for uploading. So here we have like the applying tarball of the Linux modules that will go over like a system. Actually, what I did not do now is I did not put with overlay fs. So for the OTA and these things, we will not see them. We'll see some error. Doesn't matter. It's completely insignificant. It's all good. And actually, it's a really good video, I think. It just takes time. So, yeah. Oh, students in my next course are so going to be forced to watch this beginning to end. And they will thank me because it will save them some homework time. But yeah, I mean, so this actually took care of this. The tarball is huge. It's in QEMU. Extracting it takes time. These are all this kind of things that we have. Audio doesn't work, whatever. Now I have my amazing like message of rebooting. So I'm on the wrong terminal. Fantastic. I'll use the same RAM disk image. Again, if you see it, build, fix something there, which I will figure out exactly what it is. And I mean, I'm sure that I just say, hey, don't repopulate RAM disk if it's already there, and in one of my interim things, and you will not see that. So, but you know how to debug from the command line. Please, somebody transcribe it, write the contents of this video, tell me what is where. Please do that, because it will be so helpful for other people. Like they'll see that it's an amazing video, and then it will be fun. Okay, so I don't want to wait for a movable media now. I will use the same RAM disk. Display output is not that. Look how bluish it is. I have no idea why. We're running now another init. These ones come, I think. Okay. Now I will go again here, and maybe there was no chroot here. So that's not so awesome. So block ID. Everything seems to be populated. Maybe I still did stop at RAM disk. What's going on here? So I'm going to see. If I did not do stop at RAM disk, I do have this run QEMU here. I am absolutely supposed to have, it's quite interesting. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. So, and it was supposed to just boot. So okay, that's the second one. Let's do this. Of course, actually, all of this was probably my fault. I was running the wrong QEMU script. So this looks good. I mean, it does what I expected. Now let's get rid of it. So after doing all this, which QEMU? Yeah, I'm running the PscgBuildOS 390. That's not what I wanted to run. So I'll use the PSCG, Debian, Trixie, whatever, run QEMU. And it cannot look at block dev, yada, 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 yada. So I need to wait for a removable device, which I will. And actually, very likely I don't need this. Command line equals wait for removable media. So it's still unhappy, but why? It's not unhappy. It just waited like I say, hey, I cannot look for this because I'm doing some mounting like to this OTA state. Let's see the partition table, and I used to have some printout that said, hey, this is like the sizes. I don't know if I have this now. And there is also like a command that say, hey, open terminal early enough so that we can navigate like the code. This is why it's not this, like terminal is opened only when something doesn't work out. So it will take some time. So before I forget, yeah, the applying overlay will take time. Let's write a description of this video. We add together from scratch. We add together a new architecture to the build. Chosen architecture with IBM mainframe, aka s390x, and we cover including errors and honest takes all steps that are needed. Add a new architecture for PscgBuildOS, PscgBuildOS, and PscgDevOS. Okay, looks like this one is happy. And I probably did some A-B switch. No! Store A-B directly from removable media. Why did it reboot? This was not what I had in mind. I did not want it to do that. Let's see. I might have hit enter somewhere, probably here. That's fine. So, you know what, I'll just wait. I will not waste your time. I will continue writing the description for YouTube, and I will unpause it when we're done. Okay? It will be soon enough. Yeah, whatever. It will be super soon enough. So there is no real need to do that. So let's put one by the other. This is where I want to terminate QEMU. You know, the thing is, like what happened there is that there is the removable media inside, and it actually, well, it rebooted. Like it reboots like after doing it. It needs to wait like for pressing any key, pressing enter, which I probably have when I wanted to, which I definitely have on the HVC, the hypervisor console, where I wanted to just get to a terminal, and then I remember that I did not take care that I did not run it with the configuration value that would set it. Now, what I'm unhappy about is that without showing troubleshooting, showing how to port another architecture, especially if I post everything, would take 1 minute. But I did show it, so whatever. Okay, so now we're good. Reflash OK. It's like an AB. All right. So it also shows like over the air update, AB stuff. Right hand side is the virtual console. Here Debian got like a TTYS0 fine. Let's see how we are graphics wise. Let's see if Weston just works for us. I don't know why it's so bluish. We can add port forwarding and then do all kind of things. Could be that Weston is unhappy. I'm pretty sure there is Weston here. Let's see, you know. So this is root. We'll add a password here. Coping with slow system is annoying. There is no like file like for the OTA because I didn't use overlay FS, but that's fine, don't worry about it. I'll also log in here. Okay, just slowness. Maybe it is up. Looks like it is up. But something here doesn't look like it. Does it reboot? Oh, yes, it does. So journal control dash u western dash f probably doesn't like the display parameters. Ta 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 ta. Initializing DRM backend. Mesa loader cannot retrieve device. User lib blah 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 blah. Lib western GL renderer. Failed to co-render in from EGL. So this explains a thing or two. It is unhappy, but it's actually unhappy about something else. It's unhappy that it doesn't have fdev, and I thought that I added it like in the general things. So essentially, I can just resolve it by rebuilding the kernel if this is all it is. Let's get rid of this. We covered it in other places as well. I'm pretty sure we covered it like in the Qualcomm Yocto project build. So dev input. Okay. zcat proc config grep fdev. Input fdev is y. So what is the problem here? Okay, this is absolutely wrong. I'm not sure what is the missing configuration option here. Input TSDF looks fine. I do know what is the problem. I did not. I think I know what the problem is. The problem is I did not provide input devices. This is very likely. Yeah, so there is no input at all. I'm not sure why, command line wise. But anyway, let's see. It should have complained. Yeah, probably there is. So there is USB keyboard, USB this, USB there. Probably there is no USB defined in this device. So if we have this, we need to also add a USB. But do remember that we have all those troubleshooting and remote desktop and VNC things in Weston. So a little port forwarding if you use the QEMU user mode, and we don't need the DRM backend. But I will also resolve that, and not in this video. I could, I just don't. I think an hour and 20 minutes are about an hour more than what I wanted. I actually, in between recording one of the previous videos and this one, my other laptop got, I mean, it just stopped working. I have, it's exactly the same model as what I have now. But if you remember, I was saying, hey, there was this annoying Bluetooth, uh, like Bluetooth hiccups and things that just didn't work. I think what later didn't work with the motherboard. But MSI has terrible, terrible, terrible support in Israel. Like most companies, I suppose. Yeah, so I don't even know if sound recorded well. I think so, because now I have like my pretty nice and comfortable Bluetooth device. And I'll just wrap it up here. I will fix this, and when I will fix it, I'll just, I mean, if it's just like the kernel configuration or QEMU devices, then we'll just do it like that. And it's not like going to be like a big deal, like for seeing what devices are, like for the s390, going to do something like device help, and then it will tell us like what devices it knows or supports. And so sound devices, uh, Vertio this, Vertio this, display devices, Vertio mouse PCI, tablet. We'll need to connect some bus. I'm actually not entirely sure why the parameters are here, but okay, yeah, I do know because I just copy paste from something else and removed a lot of things because I did it like very quickly. So you know what? Maybe I will complete it and do it properly, although I don't feel like documenting again and like breaking the standard. I've been working really, really, really hard on like uploading the code, which I still haven't done. And maybe I'll just refer to this video. So thank you for watching. I actually think it's super useful, but it got longer than expected. And we'll see. Thank you and bye bye. See you soon.